There's something deeply broken about how we think about weight loss. And the worst part? The diet industry has been lying to you for decades because the truth doesn't make them money. Here's a fact that should terrify you. In 1960, the obesity rate in America was 13%. Today, 42%. And it's not just America. Obesity has nearly tripled worldwide since 1975, according to WHO data. Everyone says it's because we eat too much and move too little. Calories in, calories out. Personal responsibility. But if that's true, why are people trying harder than ever to lose weight and failing more than ever before? Because there's something fundamentally different about how we prepare and consume food now. Something that has nothing to do with willpower or portion control. And the answer is hiding in plain sight in kitchens that existed 700 years ago. If you've tried every diet and failed, if you've counted calories until you wanted to scream, if you felt like your body is working against you no matter what you do, the answer is not that you lack discipline. The answer is not that you need more restriction. The answer is that modern kitchen design is literally engineered to make you overeat. And this isn't an accident. Drop a comment right now if you've ever felt like dieting makes you gain weight in the long run. Because you're not crazy, there's actual science behind why that happens. So what did medieval people know that we forgot? What was different about their kitchens that kept obesity virtually non-existent for centuries? To understand that, we need to go back to a time when food was treated completely differently. Picture a medieval kitchen. No refrigerator humming in the corner. No microwave for instant meals. No cabinets stocked with processed snacks. Just a hearth, some basic tools, and food that had to be prepared fresh every single day. This wasn't about virtue. It was about necessity. But that necessity created eating patterns that our bodies are still designed for. Then, everything changed. The refrigerator became common in American homes in the 1940s. Suddenly, you could store food for weeks. The microwave arrived in the 1970s. Now, you could eat in 2 minutes instead of 2 hours. Prepackaged meals exploded in the 1980s and 90s. Why cook when you could just heat? Each innovation was sold as liberation. Freedom from the kitchen. More time for yourself. But there was a trade-off nobody calculated. And that trade-off is now literally stored in your body as fat you can't lose, no matter how hard you try. By the year 2000, the average American kitchen looked nothing like any kitchen in human history. We had unlimited food storage, instant preparation, and 24/7 access to eating. For the first time ever, food became something you could consume without any effort, delay, or mindfulness. Here's what researchers at Cornell University found. People with visible food storage eat 20 to 30% more calories per day than people without it. Just seeing food available makes you eat more, even when you're not hungry. That medieval peasant cooking his meal from scratch twice a day? He had built-in portion control, built-in intermittent fasting, built-in mindful eating, not because he was trying to diet, but because his kitchen didn't give him any other option. He couldn't snack between meals, there was nothing to snack on. He couldn't eat mindlessly, every meal required attention and effort. He couldn't overeat, the food literally wasn't there. And nobody was obese. Not because they had better genetics, not because they worked harder physically, but because their environment didn't constantly push food at them. But to understand why modern kitchens are so dangerous, we need to understand the psychology and neuroscience of eating. And this is where it gets really disturbing. When you see food, your brain doesn't ask if you're hungry. It asks, can I eat this right now? This is called the food proximity effect, and it's hardwired into your dopamine system. Your brain evolved in an environment where food was scarce. So when food is visible and accessible, your brain screams at you to eat it, regardless of actual hunger. Modern kitchens exploit this vulnerability in 3 devastating ways. First, constant visual cues. Open your pantry right now. What do you see? Boxes, bags, packages. designed with bright colors and appetizing images specifically to trigger cravings. A study from the University of New South Wales found that people who keep snack foods visible eat an average of 200 extra calories per day. Medieval kitchens, no visual cues. Food was stored in barrels, clay pots, root cellars, out of sight. You had to actively decide to get food, not just grab it because you saw it. Second, zero-effort access. Here's the neurological truth. The easier it is to eat, the more you'll eat. Every step between I want food and I am eating food is a decision point where your brain can ask, am I actually hungry? Modern kitchens eliminate those decision points. Refrigerator, 3 seconds. Microwave, 2 minutes. Packaged snacks, instant. Your brain never gets a chance to catch up with your stomach. Research from Yale University showed that adding just a 20-second delay to snack access reduced consumption by 40%. 20 seconds. That's how sensitive this mechanism is. Medieval cooking required 30 to 120 minutes of active preparation. Every meal forced a waiting period where your brain could assess actual hunger. By the time food was ready, your body had communicated real need, not just impulse. Third, the hyperpalatable trap. This is the big one. Modern processed food is engineered literally engineered by food scientists to hit what's called the bliss point. The perfect combination of sugar, fat, and salt that overrides your natural satiety signals. Your body has hormones, leptin, ghrelin, peptide, YY that tell you when you're full. Whole foods trigger these hormones normally, but hyperpalatable processed foods, they bypass this system entirely. A study published in Cell Metabolism found that people eating ultra-processed foods consumed 500 more calories per day than people eating whole foods, even when both groups were allowed to eat as much as they wanted. Medieval food was just ... food. Vegetables, grains, meat, herbs. Nothing was engineered to be addictive. Your satiety signals worked properly because the food allowed them to work. Your body is not broken. Your willpower is not weak. You're trying to regulate appetite in an environment specifically designed to make appetite regulation impossible. But don't just take my word for it. The evidence is everywhere once you know what to look for. Let me show you something the diet industry desperately hopes you never notice. Traditional societies that still use medieval-style kitchens cooking from scratch, no food storage, limited processing, have obesity rates under 5%. A comprehensive study across 15 traditional cultures found that obesity only appears after modernization of kitchen infrastructure. Coincidence? Keep listening. The Hadza people in Tanzania. Hunter-gatherers who prepare food fresh every day. Obesity rate, 0, not 1%. Not very low, actual 0. The Semaine people in Bolivia. They cook over open fires, store almost nothing, prepare meals from whole ingredients. Average BMI, 23. That's the middle of the healthy range. And they're not counting calories or doing CrossFit. But here's what really proves the point. Immigrant studies. Researchers followed families moving from traditional food cultures to modern Western environments. Within one generation, obesity rates matched the Western average. Same genetics. Same people, different kitchen, different outcome. A 2019 study from the University of Minnesota tracked families who removed processed foods from their homes and returned to scratch cooking. In 6 months, without counting a single calorie, participants lost an average of 12 pounds. Their insulin sensitivity improved. Their inflammation markers dropped. They didn't diet. They just changed their kitchen. Now, the food industry will tell you this is all about moderation and balanced choices. They'll say you can eat anything as long as you don't overdo it. But here's what they won't tell you. The concept of moderation doesn't work in an environment of unlimited access. It's not a character test, it's a neurological impossibility. Your brain cannot moderate something that's evolutionarily programmed as urgent survival behavior. We're not meant to have constant food access, and the results of the experiment are in. We can't handle it. But this raises the obvious question. If medieval kitchen design was so effective at preventing obesity, why did we abandon it? The answer reveals everything about how convenience culture destroyed our health. The modernization of kitchens wasn't about health, it was about selling appliances and processed food. In the 1920s and 30s, appliance manufacturers faced a problem. How do you sell refrigerators, microwaves, and convenience gadgets to people who don't think they need them? Answer: you convince them that spending time in the kitchen is oppressive. They launched massive campaigns positioning cooking as drudgery. Modern women didn't slave over hot stoves, they had electric appliances. Home economics classes taught an entire generation that convenience was sophistication. And here's the brilliant evil of it. They were right that cooking is work. But they replaced that work with something far more destructive: constant access to food that makes you fat. The processed food industry piggybacked on this perfectly. If you have a refrigerator, you need things to put in it. If you have a microwave, you need microwavable meals. If you have pantry space, you need packaged snacks. A Harvard economist analyzed this shift and found that for every convenience appliance added to the average American home, household food spending increased 15% and obesity rates climbed proportionally. And here's the business model that sealed our fate. The food industry profits from volume. They don't make money from you eating appropriate portions of whole foods. They make money from you buying more processed food more often. Obesity isn't a side effect of convenience. Obesity is the business model. This isn't your fault. You were sold a lie wrapped in liberation. We all were. And now, if you suggest that maybe people should cook from scratch and not keep snacks in the house, you're called elitist, privileged, out of touch. The industry didn't just change our kitchens, they changed how we think about what's realistic and reasonable. But here's the good news. You can opt out. And it's simpler than you think. If this is making sense to you, hit that like button and subscribe. This information threatens a multi-billion-dollar industry, so it needs your help to spread. So what do you actually do? How do you redesign your kitchen to work with your biology instead of against it? Step 1. Remove visual food cues. Go through your kitchen right now. Any food you can see from a normal standing position needs to be put away or removed entirely. Fruit bowl on the counter? Move it. Snacks in clear containers. Opaque containers, or better yet, don't buy them. If you can't see it, you won't think about it. It's that simple. Step 2. Add friction to eating. This is the big one. Every meal should require at least 15 to 20 minutes of preparation, even if it's something simple. Chop vegetables. Cook from raw ingredients. Use whole foods that need actual prep work. Stop buying anything that can be eaten in under 2 minutes from package to mouth. No more grab and go. No more just heat and eat. Is this less convenient? Yes. That's the entire point. Convenience is what made you overweight. Step 3. Eliminate between meal options. This will be controversial, but stop keeping snack foods in your house. At all, if you're hungry between meals, you should have to cook something. Slice an apple, make eggs. Prepare real food. Medieval people didn't snack because snacks didn't exist. Your body doesn't need snacks. The food industry needs you to buy snacks. Step 4. Batch cook and immediately store. Here's where the refrigerator can actually help you. Cook large batches of whole food meals, portion them immediately, and store them out of sight. When you're hungry, you have to reheat real food, not grab processed garbage. This gives you convenience without the constant visual access triggers. Step 5. Create a kitchen close time. Establish hours when the kitchen is simply off limits. Medieval people couldn't eat at 10 p.m. because there was no food accessible at 10 p.m. You can recreate that after 7 p.m. kitchens closed. Nothing goes in your mouth that requires preparation. This creates natural intermittent fasting without thinking about it. But I don't have time to cook every meal. Then you're choosing convenience over health. That's finite, your choice. But stop pretending the diet industry has another solution. They don't. They've tried for 60 years and obesity keeps climbing. But I have kids. So did medieval families. They ate the same food, prepared the same way. Kids don't need constant snacks. That's marketing, not biology. This sounds restrictive. It is. So is being obese. So is having diabetes. So is dying of heart disease at 55. Pick your restriction. Imagine this. 6 months from now, you're cooking dinner. It takes 30 minutes. You sit down, eat slowly, feel satisfied. 3 hours later, you're hungry again, so you cook something. The food in your fridge isn't calling to you because you can't see it. You're the same weight you were in college, but you never counted a calorie. You just changed your kitchen. Medieval peasants weren't thinner because they had better willpower. They were thinner because their environment didn't fight them every second of every day. We don't need to go back to the Middle Ages. We just need to stop letting food companies design our homes. Your body is trying to tell you something. Maybe it's time to listen. Drop a comment. Are you willing to make your kitchen less convenient? Or does this sound impossible? I want to know where you're really at. And if you want me to do a full medieval kitchen redesign guide with meal prep strategies, let me know. If this video hits 15,000 likes, that'll be my next video. The body you want is on the other side of a kitchen that does constantly offer you food. It's that simple and that hard.